one of the most amazing things about the whole gun thing in the United States is that we actually passed a law saying, no, you cannot gather information about how many police officers or anything that has to do with gun control. Right? Can't do it. 1996 budget amendment. This was, back when Newt Gingrich was running the House of Representatives. There was a budget amendment put into place. Jay Dickey, actually, the Republican, Jay Dickey, was the one who inserted this, which says, quote, none of the funds made available in this title may be used in whole or in part to advocate or promote gun control, end quote. And as the Alan Uhas in New York, writing for The Guardian, notes, the problem, for almost 20 years under the control of both Democrats and Republicans, Congress has repeatedly renewed this ban, most recently in July. In other words, we can't even do research on gun deaths as if they were a public health problem. When 87,000 people have died from guns in the United States just since Sandy Hook, we're averaging more than one mass shooting a week. In 2012, that Republican, Jay Dickey, urged the removal of that provision, writing in an op-ed that, unlike health researchers studying car accidents or infectious diseases, quote, U.S. scientists cannot answer the most basic question, what works to prevent firearm injuries? Why don't we know? Because the NRA does not want us to know. So Tucker Carlson goes on Fox News to talk about this. And the guy that he's on with says, this is crazy. Look at Australia. They don't have gun violence. This is Clayton Morris. He says, look at Australia. They don't have gun violence. They have no guns. Their citizens aren't allowed to have guns, Morris said. Well, first of all, their citizens are allowed to have guns. They just have to be licensed, and they have to demonstrate a need for them or a desire for, a legitimate use for them, shall we say. But then Tucker Carlson says, they also have no freedom. You can go to prison for expressing unpopular views in Australia, and people do. Sorry, Tucker. What he was probably referring to was when a News Corp, this is Rupert Murdoch guy, Andrew Bolt, a reporter, was found in federal court in 2011 of having breached the Racial Discrimination Act by the way that he was speaking about, quote, fair-skinned Aborigines. But it's not a crime. It's sort of like slander. It's only it's not even at that level, because slander is a crime, I think. But it's purely civil. News Corp subsidiary, the Herald and Weekly Times, was ordered to pay the claimants group court costs and publish a correction. Gee. And therefore, Australia is not free because a Fox reporter, a Rupert Murdoch reporter, said something that was wrong and had to publish a correction. And therefore, well, that, and also they don't have as many guns as we do. So therefore, they are not free. Right. So anyhow, Tucker goes off on this thing about Australia, and the Australians basically have responded all over the place on Facebook and Twitter, basically saying, Tucker, you're nuts, and a whole bunch of expletives that you can't say on the radio.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-536-2370.
In fact, it's rather amazing some of the unusual and creative strategies that the Australians have come up with for ways that Tucker can do things with various body parts.